Hello there, YouTubers, and welcome to another DrCassette video. Today we're going to take a last look at the Yamaha model KX 393 stereo cassette deck. I am going to sell this cassette deck, and whenever you see this video it will be gone. Reason is it's a rather low-ended cassette deck, and I have many cassette decks that are much better than this thing. So, let's get rid of both the manual and the original box and take a last look. You have seen this cassette deck before, I think. Yeah, I'm actually pretty sure you have seen this thing before. I think you've actually seen it twice. I'm not thinking. Okay, so let's turn it on. We have only a standby switch, unfortunately. I bought this thing brand new in the store in 2006. I think I paid, oops, I think I paid 168 euro for this thing. And yeah, you can already hear it's a rather cheap cassette deck. You can hear it by the sounds of the mechanism. But it does the job since I had it in repairs. Whenever I got this cassette deck, the way it came, it actually had a de-adjusted head, I think. I'm not sure, but it would never properly record cassettes. It would always the levels of your recording when you played it back was completely different from the levels as you had them adjusted while recording. And also it wouldn't record any metal cassettes. It just wouldn't work. So I brought it back and said, repair it for me. Still had warranty. That's what they did. They actually, in their little report they are giving you, they wrote that they replaced the entire tape mechanism. Yeah, which is kind of crazy, but oh well. Afterwards it worked, but problem was it wouldn't play the cassettes that I had previously recorded on there. They would just sound all awful and terrible and muffled and just, well, not in a way that you would like to listen to them. So I think I erased them all, or at least most of them, and yeah, had to do everything again, and yeah. Actually don't remember when I brought it back into the shop, but that was about a year after I got it, and back then I was recording a lot of cassettes, so must have been something around 100 cassettes that I had recorded just for nothing. So yeah, this cassette deck has really been a bit of a nasty thing. But, anyway, let's zoom in and take a look at the features and functions. There is our standby switch, which I don't like, but oh well. Eject. There is the cassette door. It has a cassette stabilizer, which is kind of interesting, but it also makes it very hard to clean the cassette heads because, well, if you take off the cassette door, the door of the cassette compartment, there is that stabilization mechanism behind it there, and you still can't reach the tape heads. And I once had the stabilizer mechanism actually taken out and had a very hard time getting that back together, so that was always a bit of a problem. The cassette heads in there actually are pretty damn worn out because I constantly used cleaning tapes back then. Reason was, I had a cleaning tape and on there it said clean the heads every 30 hours. Now I got that kind of confused in my mind and cleaned them every 3 hours. So yeah, that was kind of a fail. Heads are quite worn out from that. But there is our display and digital tape counter. And has an automatic tape selector. There is the counter controls. We have reset and memory. have phones, headphone jack with adjustable level, bias adjust, and play trim. Now this is sort of an interesting feature because it enables you to restore the treble on very old and muffled sounding cassettes. So it's actually quite good for digitizing cassettes. However, for that I do have another slightly older Yamaha cassette deck which has the same feature and a much higher quality, so I'm using that instead. But I can quickly demonstrate that. We now have it set on flat. Now all the treble is gone. And now we should have a lot more treble. Hope you can hear that effect. So that's the play trim feature. Now over here we have auto tape tuning. Now this, I think it adjusts the bias according to the tape you want to record on. You just hit it and it goes ahead, records a beep tone onto the tape, then rewinds, plays back the beep tone, adjusts itself, and then rewinds to where you started from. Kind of complicated, but it has to do that because it's not a 3-head cassette deck. It can't read what it's recording directly after it did that. There is the switch for Dolby Noise Reduction. Selects Dolby BNC and Dolby BNC with MPX filter. I can actually show that. Should pop up in the display over there somewhere. That's... you can't see it. Oh. Okay. The 2-channel thing on my display of the camcorder blocked it. There it is. Dolby B. Dolby C. And there we have the same again with the MPX filter. Okay, and over here we have the main function buttons: stop, play, we have an intro scan feature, rewind and fast forward, record. Now it says record/pause. It'll only pause when you're in record mode. For playback it does not have a pause. And then we have mute and search. Well, actually that... okay, yeah, you can tell I haven't used this cassette deck in years. Now I remember. The intro scan feature is, well, basically what it says, and then you have search, and if you press that along with either fast forward or rewind, it'll go to the next tracks, or the previous tracks, or whatever. You get the point, I guess. So, yeah, that's it pretty much. Now this, up to date, has been the only cassette deck that I brought brand new out of the store, and since they're now no longer making cassette decks, it's, I'm sure it's going to be the last one as well, you know. But back then when I visited that store, they had a bunch of double cassette decks, but I didn't like them. Dual cassette decks tend to have an even lower quality than the regular cassette decks. So they had only 2 regular cassette decks with just 1 cassette compartment, and one was this Yamaha, and the other one was a Pioneer, which was even cheaper, had all plastic front and no display, and that was just a cheap piece of garbage, really. I don't know how much they wanted to have for that, don't remember, but I got this one, the more expensive model of the 2. But, well, yeah, quite a load of memories connected to this one, but it's going, and, well, guess that was it, really. So, hope you enjoyed this cassette, yeah, hope you enjoyed this cassette deck, yeah, and also hope you enjoyed this video. Messed up my standard sentence there. And anyway, see you again soon.